What's up, graphic designers? Today we're going to be creating a little bit of marketing for the girls' soccer team, and we're going to be celebrating lab athletics. And to do that, we're going to need to submit two separate things today. So the first thing we're going to need to submit is a PNG of a specific athlete. So you're going to find your designated soccer player on the spreadsheet. And then what you're going to do, once you create their PNG cutout, what we're going to do is we're going to make a selection, we're going to create a layer mask, and then you're going to simply save it as a PNG, just like we've been doing all year long. Next, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be using that PNG for a separate assignment where you're going to use your designated individual to create a poster where they're popping out of their own number. So it looks a little bit like this, or maybe a little bit like this. You're going to have some flexibility in terms of choosing what the background looks like, and I'm going to show you precisely how we're going to do this using this template right here. And so I know that Zeta is she's number 9, of course, but I'm just going to pop her number 2 for the sake of this tutorial. I'm going to press Command V to paste her in, and we're going to want to make sure that she's at the top layer. And well, we're going to have her right here. We're going to think about like what makes sense, like where can you still see the integrity of the number, and yet still make out like a good portion of the athlete herself. So I'm going to look for the 2 layer, and I see it's right here. I'm going to hold Command, I'm going to click on the T, I'm going to jump to the Zeta cutout, I'm going to click the layer mask, I'm going to press B for brush, and we're simply going to brush around with white, and so that looks good. I'm actually going to, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go back just a tad, and I'm just going to have it just like this. That looks, all right, that looks great right there. And I know that we've got a number of different backgrounds that we can choose from. So we've got this default city skyline, which I think looks pretty cool. Alternatively, you can put in this these ocean waves breaking. And here's how I found this image. So I'm going to right click, I'm going to copy image, and what you're going to do is you're going to put your environment layer underneath this layer where it says put the environment layer below. So I'm going to press Command V to paste it in. It's going to look a little something like this. I'm going to press Command T. And we want to ideally have like a horizon or like a skyline sort of cutting across the center of the image. So it's going to look a little bit like this. And the reason it's purple is because we have this purple layer above it. You'll notice it's labeled to don't touch. We don't want to touch that. So this is the original color. What we're going to do now, well, you can hide the layer. Not for purposes of this, I'll just hide it for a moment. I'm going to press Command Shift U. You're going to want to definitely desaturate whatever background you have. And we're going to lighten it just a tad, lightening the lights, adjusting the midtones, and I'm going to add that purple layer back. You'll notice, you guys, that the horizon or the sky doesn't extend to the top of the canvas. So what I'm going to do is I'm simply going to use the eyedropper tool, and there's a few different ways you could go about this. Eyedropper tool, I captured that gray. I'm going to switch to the paint bucket. I'm simply going to left click. And then when we add that purple, it looks a little bit more realistic. If I press B for brush, drop down the hardness, and increase the size, we can sort of just like even it out right there so it looks a little bit more smooth. You can add the athlete's first name, last name, and lastly, you're going to want to check out the gator. Depending on the kind of background, maybe you want a white gator, so it looks a little something like this. Although that does kind of look weird. And so what we're going to want to do is we're going to hide the green layer underneath it. And so here we've got this white gator with like the green LMU text. Alternatively, if we hide both the white and the green layer, we're going to have this black one where you can see through to the sky behind it. So we're thinking about environment. We're going to be thinking about like where to position maybe this text. You can add your own artistic flourishes. We're going to save this as a PSD and submit it as a JPEG. Let me know if you guys have any questions. Good luck.